something that they would love to bury to the meeting. And they did. And I said, we are going to actually bury all of this old baggage that you guys have. We're going to actually do it. And we ceremoniously went out. We got some guy with a backhoe, dug a big hole, and everybody went out there and threw this baggage into the hole, and we covered it up. You know, where did that come from?
Yeah.
You know, it worked. It worked. Because it was a new way of thinking for them. And I think that's the challenge we have in OD work, is to try to bring different perspectives in, to break the norm, to cause people to stand in different places and viewing and seeing and hearing so that they can learn and be open to change. And your experiences, that's exactly what goes on in laboratory work. So.
The question that Douglas McGregor posed that got my attention, or the hypothesis that was really at the core of his human side of enterprise, is that there is no necessary contradiction between high-performing organizations and human satisfaction. There need not be a battle between financial results and engaging jobs. And that's been the issue for me the entire time through my whole consulting career, was experimenting with that hypothesis. And there's there's a lot of evidence that we all have experience with it, that the amount of waste in systems, the potential for improvement in any organizational system is enormously more than most managers can comprehend. And the simple act of getting employees to redesign their own work systems, instead of having them designed for them and handed to them, is good for 20 to 40% improvement, at least during the 20 years that I was doing this work. I don't know if that's true today.
It's true.
But I do see the fragmented systems because I'm a victim of them every time I pick up the phone and try to get through this tech support. So I know that Taylorism's alive and well in the workplace. So that gets me to a kind of hobby horse of mine. Profitability and economic results cannot be the fundamental motivation of American business. Because if it were, they would all be having the employees design their own work systems. If we lived in a rational world. And so the answer is try not to lose money and keep as tight control as you can. That's the underlying motivation. My projection.
Should we open up to questions to the audience? I'm thinking if I borrow a couple of these mics, then I can. Yours will take one of them.
Mine's dead.
It's dead?
It's dead. You turned it on.
I think this is what it's the last
All
one.
right. We'll do what we can.
Hey, Don, earlier you said that you had this funeral and that it worked. Okay, now at what point did you realize that it worked? What happened that was different at that moment? When did you realize that your ploy, if you will, worked?
People were able to speak with each other, talk with each other, hear each other, rather than cutting each other off because of old baggage that had never been dealt with. And it was never discussable. Now it was discussable. That was the difference. And then they were able to move on and past it.
Well, was it indeed discussable? And they didn't just bury it, they talked about it as well?
Yes. They were then able to talk. And as they did the burying, they talked about it.
They grieved.
Yeah, they did the grieving and the wailing and everything else that goes on. We had a great wake afterward. we really did. I mean, everybody went out downtown Ferndale and had a beer together. So we really had a wake. It was wonderful.
Great. Okay, thank you.
And I think, just a minute before that, I think that in our fascination with methodology, OD tools and methodology, that we're sterilizing the world to the point, and we're all trying to do it right with our degrees and everything, so that we don't give the room for that. You know, that it's, where is that what page of Peggy Holman's book is that on? You know, and I like all that methodology that's there, but I'm concerned that we're raising a bunch of OD people who are looking at the menu for, let's see, should I take Marvin's Future? Open space, what? No, you can't do that if it's open space. They ought to be back in the kitchen creating recipes, you know, and they're picking, and often for the wrong reasons. So that's my concern, that we lose things like Don just described when we do that.
That might be a good segue to the question I have. I work in a large corporation of about 26,000 people, and I see that the workplace is changing radically. We're moving to place-based organizations to very highly virtual organizations where employees may not even see each other ever in their working life. So I'm wondering, from your perspective, having seen the OD profession grow up over time, what new ideas, what new ways of working have to come into this new age of different
I think you are into one huge action research experiment. I'm serious about that. We absolutely don't know. But I do know that the future of OD is sitting in this room. And whatever it is you are all doing, that is the future of OD. What you're doing today is the future of OD. It was yesterday, and it will be tomorrow.
Maybe it'll turn into network OD.
Well, who knows?
Seriously, organizations as entities are changing drastically into networks.
Yeah. But I do. I'm getting too old for this.
I agree, whatever it is.
Right, whatever. The impulse for us to turn ourselves into robots is very strong, and it's alive and well, at least since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. And there's a terrible shadow side to all this technology, which is pushing the human psyche beyond its design limits, and we're doing it to ourselves. Faster, shorter, cheaper is a prescription for disaster and burnout, and for very unhappy lives.
As well as despoilation of the planet.
And we're we're destroying our home, and in the name of quarterly dividends for Wall Street analysts who have no responsibility at all. So it's how do you break that cycle would be the question I ask all of you.
Well, and you're going to where my question was, because my sense is that where you came from, how you developed, the questions that you asked, was very much shaped by what was going on in the world at that time.
Right.
The world is a different place now. So I don't want to let you off the hook of the future, because I think maybe there are some seeds in your conversation that I would like, like technology. That's a big one. Technology enables us to be virtual. We can work anywhere we want to, but now we have this expectation that we have to be 7 by 24. So you're absolutely right on. So we are pushing the human being. We are pushing the human spirit. So where do you think we're going?
Well, why do we agree to that contract?
Well, I don't know if we agree, or if it's
Well,
just...
then how do you opt out?
Yeah.
Because we are going to make the planet unlivable.
So I'd like to take a crack at it this way, that I think I've learned most from being kind of an introvert observer type. The reason process consultation appeals to me is because it's a lazy man's way of consulting. You let the client do as much work as possible. But I came from Europe. I went through several different cultures, so I think it's been in my own personal life that I've learned to be cautious. See what's going on before you leap in. And when I take that stance toward the future, what I'm looking at is my grandchildren, who range from 11 to 22, 7 of them. And I'm kind of pleased with the fact that they're not as worried about it as I am. They seem to have some kind of a sense of where they are going. They automatically know all the technology. They use it creatively. they build friendship groups